In the digital age, hackers often feel untouchable. Hidden behind glowing screens, they operate from the shadows of internet cafes or their bedrooms across the globe. They launch cyber attacks from behind firewalls and VPNs, confident that their true identities and locations are safe behind layers of technological complexity. For their victims, these faceless, nameless figures become almost mythical, their power seemingly amplified by their anonymity. They are the unseen enemies lurking in the digital wilderness. But what happens when an ordinary community decides they won't be victims anymore? When a quiet neighborhood finds itself under siege, robbed of its digital identity and tormented by cryptic messages from shadowy attackers, how do the residents reclaim their piece of the web? How a Small Town Took Down a Global Hacker Gang is a cinematic documentary-style story about resilience, courage, and the surprising power of unity in the fight against cybercrime. This film takes you into the heart of a quiet town that found itself under siege. Residents were suddenly locked out of their bank accounts, businesses were crippled by ransomware, and even local government services were hijacked. The attackers were no ordinary criminals. They were part of a sophisticated global hacker network, demanding money from people who could least afford to lose it. The usual suspects were affected: retirees living on fixed incomes, single mothers trying to balance work and family, and young entrepreneurs with dreams bigger than their bank balances. Each attack left the victims confused, frustrated, and vulnerable. They felt powerless, grappling with questions like, who are these people? Why are they doing this? And most importantly, how can we get our lives back on track? The answers, when they came, would lead them on a journey that was as enlightening as it was infuriating. It turned out that the perpetrators were far from some faceless, untouchable entity. They were the notorious Black Kingdom Gang, a cybercrime syndicate that thrived on chaos and misery. Their modus operandi was simple yet devastating. They infiltrated local networks, held data hostage, and then extorted money from individuals and institutions, threatening to destroy the data unless their demands were met. But what made the Black Kingdom Gang truly formidable was their near-mythical reputation. Rumored to be ghosting even law enforcement agencies, their past deeds spoken of in hushed tones among cybersecurity experts. For many in the town, the news of their ordeal being part of a larger pattern was both validating and terrifying. It validated their fears and struggles, but also illuminated a larger threat that they had never seen coming. In the face of such a formidable enemy, many would have simply thrown their hands up in defeat. But that wasn't an option for the people of this town. They had bills to pay, families to feed, and futures to secure. So they did something remarkable. They fought back not with brute force or expensive technology, but with the most potent weapon at their disposal: unity. Ordinary citizens, business owners, teachers, IT volunteers, and even the local police came together to form an unlikely alliance. A ragtag group united by a common purpose to outsmart and expose a cybercrime syndicate that had brought them to their knees. The story of how this small town took on and defeated the notorious Black Kingdom Gang serves as a beacon of hope and a roadmap for others facing similar cyber threats. This is not just a story about hacking. It's about human resilience, the fight for justice, and the reminder that in a connected world, no one is truly powerless. When the going got tough, the community got going. Their initial efforts were simple: sharing information, reporting attacks, and reaching out to anyone who could help. But as the situation grew more dire, so did their determination. Soon, the victims began noticing patterns in the attacks: consistent times, consistent methods, and even consistent demands. From these patterns, a clearer picture of the enemy emerged. Every piece of information, every minute detail of the attacks, no matter how insignificant it seemed, was recorded, analyzed, and cross-referenced. The victims became detectives in their own stories, documenting their experiences and seeking connections. It was a painstaking process, a digital hunt where the prey was invisible and the only weapon was vigilance. As the investigation deepened, the local newspaper, the Daily Sentinel, played a pivotal role. Recognizing the gravity of the attacks and the unity of the town, the paper committed to shedding light on the issue, amplifying the voices of the victims and keeping the community informed. Each article published was not just a piece of journalism, but a step closer to understanding the enemy. It was during one of these investigations that Sarah Henderson, a young reporter with a nose for stories, stumbled upon a crucial clue. While interviewing Mr. Williams, a local businessman who had been hit by the ransomware, she noticed a peculiar aspect of his computer screen. It was an error message that appeared to have originated from a server in Eastern Europe. With this new lead, Sarah knew she was onto something big. She reached out to cybersecurity experts, hoping for assistance in deciphering the foreign language on the error screen. Little did she know that this seemingly minor breakthrough would be the first crack in the wall around Black Kingdom secrecy. The first rays of dawn were breaking through the darkness of ignorance. As the pieces of the puzzle started falling into place, the townspeople discovered the staggering reach of the Black Kingdom gang. They weren't just preying on the town, they were terrorizing communities across the globe. But with each new discovery, their resolve only grew stronger. The knowledge that they were part of a larger fight against cybercrime gave them strength. It shifted their fear into determination and their confusion into clarity. A call went out beyond the borders of the town, reaching out to cybersecurity experts, law enforcement agencies, and anyone who had faced similar attacks. The response was overwhelming. Professionals from various fields, driven by a sense of justice and the lure of a complex mystery, answered the call. Among them was David Clayton, a renowned cybersecurity expert known for his unconventional methods and relentless pursuit of justice. He brought with him an arsenal of tools, not the kind that make a lot of noise, but the kind that quietly ferret out information. His team set to work, diving deep into the data trails left behind by the attacks. Working alongside the locals, they scoured through computer files, analyzed network traffic, and pieced together the digital breadcrumbs that the attackers had left behind. It was a Herculean task akin to finding a needle in a haystack, except here the haystack was a vast digital landscape and the needle was the truth. As the investigation reached a fever pitch, a crucial piece of evidence emerged. A link to a dark web forum where the attackers had bragged about their exploits. It was a trove of information, a digital confession of sorts. Here on the dark web, hidden from the prying eyes of authorities and search engines, the Black Kingdom gang had reveled in their conquests. They discussed their attacks openly, boasting of the chaos they had caused and the money they had earned. Most importantly, they revealed their operations base and hinted at their next targets. This forum became the town's most valuable resource, a window into the minds of their attackers, a direct line to the sources of their woes. What followed was a race against time. Armed with the knowledge gleaned from the dark web forum, the combined forces of the town and the cybersecurity experts closed in on the Black Kingdom gang. It was a meticulously planned operation, a testament to the power of unity and the allure of justice. As dawn broke over the town, the operation to take down the Black Kingdom gang was in full swing. Servers were seized, data was secured, and the gang's online presence was systematically dismantled. It was a display of digital prowess, a masterclass in cybersecurity that sent ripples through the world of cybercrime. The once invincible Black Kingdom gang was on the run. Their reign of terror, which had spanned continents and instilled fear in countless hearts, was coming to an end. The story of this small town's victory against the Black Kingdom gang resonated far beyond their borders. News outlets around the world picked up the story, hailing the town as heroes and the cybersecurity experts as modern-day digital sheriffs. The victory was monumental, a testament to the power of unity, determination, and the relentless pursuit of justice. But perhaps the most significant impact of this story was the inspiration it provided to other communities facing similar cyber threats. It proved that a faceless, nameless hacker gang could be taken down, that extortionate demands could be defied, and that digital terror could be overcome. The town's victory was a clarion call, a rallying cry for other communities to unite, organize and fight back against the shadowy figures lurking in the digital wilderness. The events that unfolded in the small town serve as a potent reminder that in the ongoing battle between those who seek to harm and those who seek to protect, it's often the ordinary people who rise to become the extraordinary heroes. The story of how a small town took down a global hacker gang reminds us that in the face of adversity, it's the collective spirit, the unity of purpose, and the courage to stand together that truly makes us invincible. In a world where technology often seems to be the harbinger of our vulnerabilities, this story stands as a beacon of hope, proving that with unity, determination, and a bit of know-how, we can all be part of the solution. In a world dominated by technology and overshadowed by cyber threats, this story emerges as a beacon of hope, illustrating that unity, determination, and a shared purpose can pave the way to victory even in the darkest of digital battles. The story of how a small town took down a global hacker gang is a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity, reminding us that in the face of adversity, it's our collective strength that truly makes us invincible. So remember, whether you're part of a small town or a bustling city, when faced with challenges, unite, organize, and fight back. Because sometimes it's in the unity of our differences that we find our greatest strength. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. And don't forget to stay tuned for future updates. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and empowered in the digital world.